We have to look at new ways to educate in times like this. The homeschooling horrors I heard about from so many people, the panic of parents. So there needs to be new ways to remotely educate in a personalised way, to connect students together so that, they don't feel so isolated, because to a child, they have no idea what's going on. They don't know why they can't see their friends and play in the playground. So that's a very important part, I think, of an area where we need to invest more. We need to develop more technology.
Hi all, welcome to Engati CX. My name is Drishti Shah, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming Sarah-Jayne Gratton to our interview series. I would like to begin with just a quick intro of Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform, available across 14 channels with 30,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by INC.com, TechWorld, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 300,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, Dr. Sarah-Jayne Gratton is a leading technology evangelist specializing in emerging technologies and covering trends in AI, machine learning, IoT, agri-tech, digital transformation, and mixed reality. As a digital strategist and technology influencer, she has worked with brands across the world to build their professional and social capital. She has also worked on influencer campaigns for Oracle, Siemens, Ericsson, Vodafone, and IBM, and has even covered Wimbledon and the Tour de France. For an underlying technology perspective, she has been listed as one of the top 5G influencers on Twitter. So hi, Sarah. We are really happy to have you on Engati.
Thanks so much for asking me. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So beginning with the first question that I have for you is that do you think the use of AI is still at its nascent stage and its usage will increase during and after this COVID crisis when every business will be forced into a digital transformation?
Yeah, that's a really good question to start off, because I think there are two streams of thought regarding artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not conscious intelligence. It's a learned form of machine intelligence. Yes. If you can actually call it intelligence, that's a whole nother discussion. But the actual notion of AI, as the public understand it today, goes back to the 20s. We had films like Metropolis showing robotics then. And there is this great wave of fear in those days that technology was going to take away people's livelihoods. And indeed, there was a huge change in the 20s itself when people went to catch the train. The ticket sellers' jobs were gone. There was suddenly an automated ticketing, wheel that you had to go through, and the doors were opening by themselves. So the people that opened the doors had lost their jobs. So there was a huge shift then. And again, it happened in the 50s where there were, ship workers worrying about the logistical side of things being, changed via automation. And now today, we are seeing another shift in the way that AI is transforming industry and business, which of course has been incredibly amplified by COVID-19 across the world. And it's causing a shift in the way that we think about work, the way that we think about connectivity together on a personal level. So it's changing everything. And I think we've always had a relationship, certainly in my lifetime, your lifetime, with technology. It's a part of our lives every day. And in some respects, it's an invisible part of our lives because it's there everywhere. We don't even think about it. But now more than ever, there is this digital shift, I think, in the way that people are thinking about how do we cope in the future with our economy. In situations like this, there's never been a more important time for technology to make its mark and say, well, actually, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help make things better. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it does, definitely, yeah.
Good.
So, how will AI and machine learning help businesses capitalize on the opportunities that 5G technology will be presenting to them?
Well, the 5G promise has been talked about for a long time now. And, and a lot of the network operators are so eager to make this work for them. But there's still a lot to learn. And I always say it's down to partnership. You can't do it on your own. You've got to collaborate. And in terms of, again, what we know as AI today in business and 5G together, it's a 50-50 partnership. They work very much together to make these things happen. In orchestration, network slicing, and applications, of course, which people are now tuning into and getting very excited by. But it is very much geared towards collaboration to really get that return on investment and to give the operators the confidence, to invest in this and move forward. And personally working with companies like Ericsson, who are doing a tremendous amount to support these operators and to make the transition to 5G as seamless as possible. It's very, very exciting to be a part of this.
Yeah. So do you think organizations today are ready to take up 5G? Or there are some...
I think they're eager to do it. There's just so much uncertainty as to how do I do this? What are the business implications for me? How much is it going to cost? Who do I turn to support? And again, singing their praises, because I think Ericsson is doing an amazing job to really clarify what's needed, to be there to sort of hold their hand, if you like, and say, this is how you do it. We can make this cost effective for you. And it opens the door to so many opportunities for you. So I think it will happen. It's happening slowly, but it will happen.
That's true. So cognitive intelligent chatbots and automation will change the customer scenario. Would you agree with that?
I agree with the cognitive side. I think there needs to be a lot more cognition here in terms of the interaction. At the moment, they can be quite annoying. And, when they get it right, it's a great experience. Of course, it's cost effective for the companies that use them. When they get it wrong, it's pretty horrendous as a customer being on the other end of that experience. So I think, yes, it's a good thing, but there needs to be a lot more plowed into it. There needs to be a lot more work in making sure the technology is spot on in terms of interaction. So that word cognitive, I think, latching on to what the customer wants to hear rather than seeking out those little key words where it spurts out, sorry, I didn't understand that, which is very annoying. But I think, yes, in answer to your question, there is a future, and it can serve a very valuable purpose, especially with, when workforces are under pressure, there's challenges. And in things like HR, when especially now with remote workers, employees just want this information and something that can just help them in a virtual way, that give them the reassurance they need, tell them they're doing things right or advise them, is a great thing. So it has lots of positives.
Yeah, definitely. So it's more like a, if you want something just for information and for a first point of contact, then it's the best thing that you can have right now. Yeah.
It's very, very useful. It's a very, very useful tool. Yeah.
So how do you see technology, changing its roadmap to accommodate the new normal outbound of the COVID pandemic?
Oh, that's a great question, because so many things are changing. And I think we have to look at new ways to educate in times like this. The homeschooling horrors I heard about from so many people, the panic of parents. So there needs to be new ways to remotely educate in a personalised way, to connect students together so that, they don't feel so isolated, because to a child, they have no idea what's going on. They don't know why they can't see their friends and play in the playground. So that's a very important part, I think, of an area where we need to invest more. We need to develop more technology. And, it needs to be in place now. And also it will value those parts of the world where, education is more difficult, more challenging for people to deliver. So I think, it's a positive win for all if we can get this right. Also in healthcare, in the future, I do see us all having a human digital twin that our medical providers will have on record, showing any conditions that we have. For example, a patient with atrial fibrillation, AF, their specialist would be able to actually conduct various treatment courses virtually using their digital twin. The outcomes would be seen in real time, and then the best course of treatment could actually be delivered to the patient. And all this can be done on a remote basis. So, it would completely free up these queues. It would completely free up resources. And I think during times like this, it's made us very much aware of how these resources are so valuable, how we have to protect them and secure them for the future.
Yes. I think especially in the COVID times right now, AI has developed so much in the healthcare industry that it's like wonderful.
Yeah. There's so many applications. I mean, we can talk about agri-tech, fruit picking robots when we can't get the seasonal workers in there, when there is risk. Remote packing, automated packing, machine learning, the whole supply chain being amplified and maximized through technology. So it's a blessing in so many areas of industry, although many people still think it's a curse. I look on it as a real blessing.
Yes, it is, definitely. Yeah. So concluding, are there any other thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I could mention the fact, being very cheeky here, that my husband Dean and I are writing the new book on AI, which will be out next year, published by Routledge. Very, very excited about that. It's going to take a completely new perspective on the future of AI and how conscious intelligence in an artificial environment can be created. So it's going to be exciting stuff.
It sounds definitely interesting. So we'll all watch out for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for giving us your time, your insights, and the examples that you have given. They are really valuable, and the audience is really going to enjoy this interview. We'll also look forward to the book that you will be publishing next year.
Thank you so much for asking me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
So we'll be back with a new episode with a brand new expert soon. So stay tuned, and we'll see you around for the next one. Goodbye.